I always like to work with the top people. I'm not very good when I work with people who are not very good. I'm just not. I like to work with people who are vibrant and know their business. I work 1,000 times better if I have a challenge. I think it comes from being a Leo, like I am. I just think, because I'm a Leo, I roar that way.
In the fall of 1949, while many programs were jumping from NBC to CBS, The Adventures of Sam Spade did the opposite. Edgar Bergen took their old CBS time slot. The two shows would once again run head-to-head. By then, Spier was on hiatus from Suspense, having left the program in January of 1948. The move to NBC proved to be unsuccessful, with Jack Benny, Edgar Bergen, Amos and Andy, and Red Skelton all now running on CBS. Spade fell out of Sunday's top 10, and their highest-rated month was January of 1950, with an 11.5. At the same time, a wave of anti-communism swept through Hollywood. Variety was reporting that Wildroot would only continue if Hammett's name was removed from the credits. Then in June of 1950, Howard Duff was listed in the red channels, and the show's fate was sealed.
One of the minor ones, at least I think it was minor, was the rumor that
Howard Duff
had been listed in some book against all this. And actually all Howard ever did, if he did that, was to go to a lunch being held in honor of somebody who was out of work because he was on the Hollywood blacklist, some screenwriter or somebody. Quite possible Howard didn't even know the man, and I'm sure he's as far from being of that political ilk as he could be, but... And of course we talked about Dashiell Hammett, who created the character of Sam Spade, but actually had nothing to do with the radio series, except that for the first few years we mentioned his name in connection with originating the character, and I don't know if that was a legal demand of Warner Brothers at the time. They made certain demands of Bill Spier, certain credits had to be given in connection with using the character.
It could have gone on and probably become a television show. But unfortunately, Dashiell Hammett went to jail for contempt of Congress during that. That was a big red routine going on. And actually, he had nothing to do with our show, but he created the character of Sam Spade. And so the sponsors just... And I made red channels because I was a little too liberal for those times, apparently. And the combination killed the show.
That's why they came up with Charlie Wilde, Private Eye. That was the after...
Was that it?
That was the show...
Charlie Wilde.
It was
Wildroot Primo.
Yeah,
oh, boy.
Charlie.
I wasn't even aware of that.
On September 9th, 1950, Billboard magazine announced that Wildroot was dumping Spade and putting its money into a new series, Charlie Wilde, Private Detective. There were 250,000 letters protesting the decision. Duff's last broadcast was the Femme Fatale caper on September 17th, 1950.
It went 6 years and was one of the victims of the assassination of radio, plus complicating factors in the completely unjust polarizing of Dashiell Hammett, who had been thought to have been with communist leanings, which he was not, so far as I know. And so the show was disappeared. I was in Europe at the time. We recorded it in advance, transcriptions. And I was in Europe. June and I were on a trip there, and I heard from Larry White that Sam Spade had been canceled. And I thought, well, it's not too bad that I suppose that Philip Morris or whoever it was ran out of, the budget changed or something, but it'll be sold in an hour, because it was a very successful show, always in the first 10. And 2 weeks, 3 weeks went by, and there was still no takers. And I didn't find out till I got back to this country that there had been those complications. And by the time they were able to be cleared out at all, radio was disappearing to the east.
The National Broadcasting Company presents The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Me, sweetheart.
Say,
Oh, Sam.
Now take it easy.
The papers are on the street. I saw them.
So did I. There'll be some red-faced editors ducking behind their green eye shades tomorrow.
What do you mean, Sam?
You don't print up the score until the returns are all in, F. This applies to presidential elections, boxing matches, and executions at San Quentin Prison.
Sam, you mean Willie?
I mean Willie. Batten down the hatches and turn over your foam rubber cushion, Wonder Girl, for even now I'm homeward bound with a stride-by-stride account of a 12-hour marathon, which I shall call, for obvious reasons, the Hail and Farewell Caper.
In November, NBC revived the series with Stephen Dunn in the lead. No sponsor signed on. This last episode, The Hail and Farewell Caper, aired on April 27, 1951. And The Adventures of Sam Spade departed the airwaves for good.